do economic policy.
It's from us. If you agree with it, sign it, and send it in to Barack Obama. We got to do something about this economy.
What's the, I'm not reading it right now, but what's the gist of it?
It's about Bill Clinton's economic.
We're asking Barack Obama to implement Bill Clinton's economic policy of the 90s, which is really based on economics 101.
Like what type of economics?
Economic policy of implementing competitive prime interest rates for attracting investors into our economy.
So we would get rid of,
based on trying to use the same policy today.
so the market with permanent interest rates?
The what?
The market with the permanent interest rates?
It would be determined by what the other countries are utilizing. For example, China's prime interest rate right now is 6.56%. Okay.
Which encourages investment over there.
Exactly. Okay. Ours is near zero. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad idea.
Exactly. We're chasing investment.
You know how we got that interest rate that low?
President Bush.
Well, it's not really President Bush or any president. It's the Federal Reserve. They determine, with their open market committee, they determine the interest rate.
Exactly. Well, it's the Federal Reserve that made a decision, but they can't do it without the behest, without the backing of the president. Remember that.
Oh yeah, they can because they're independent. They're appointed by a president, but once that person's in there, and the chairman of the Fed, of each Federal Reserve branch, actually gets to go in and determine or make those type of policies of what the interest rates are.
I understand, but keep in mind that the president bars as far as the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Furthermore, any money that is issued, that is sanctioned by the Fed, the U.S. Treasury Department must issue bonds to back those funds issued by the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve
buys the bonds. The Federal Reserve buys the bonds from the Treasury.
Well, the Federal Reserve cannot make a move on issuing money without the Treasury Department.
Yeah.
So from a practical standpoint, the Federal Reserve functions as an arm of the U.S. government.
Yes, exactly.
But the important thing here is that you understand what's going on. Okay, you understand that it is the low interest rates, the insane near zero prime interest rate that is hurting this economy, and it's now time for Americans to exercise their common sense and place pressure on Congress, our governors, and the U.S. President, President Obama, to re-implement competitive interest rates that will attract investments into our economy.
Now, when you say implement competitive interest rates, how would we implement competitive interest rates? Would we quit selling e-bonds?
The prime interest rate set by the Federal Reserve. The prime interest rate should compete with what the other countries do.
You brothers mailing me in now.
Okay, if like China is at 6.56% today, okay, then ours should hover around that particular rate.
As the rates go up, we can get more investment in this country.
Exactly.
From any perspective.
Exactly.
Now, I guess my only question is what can we do to make the rates competitive?
Well, remember the Federal Reserve, we call it the Federal Reserve, sets the prime interest rate. And the prime interest rate is set in competition with what other countries are doing.
I see. So you're wanting to keep the rate competitive with that.
Right.
Now, I got a question. Now, in a free market, interest rates naturally rise due to the lack of savings, and they naturally go down when there's abundance of savings. When the
system, are you saying that we don't have a free market system now?
That's exactly what I'm saying. The Fed is creating money without which drives interest rates. That's not a function of a free market. A free market is what the savings would drive what people save would drive what people borrow. You could only borrow what you save. In today's economy, we create money out of thin air, or we borrow, like you put it, we borrow the Fed buys T-bonds, and the Fed prints money and gives it to the government to buy whatever they want to do, whatever they want to purchase, which, some people would say that's a necessary function to stabilize the economy, but what I'm saying is it pushes interest rates down and it discourages more investment.
That's a good question. Because first of all, I think that the more people save their money, that would tend to drive up interest rates because more dollars will be available.
That would drive more dollars would be available to borrow.
Right.
People save.
Exactly. That drives up demand.
So there would be more competition for people to borrow, and that would drop the rates down.
Yes, that's good for the economy. But a free market system, a natural, organic free market system would take place if the U.S. and the Fed required that banks secured all of the money that they borrow from the Feds. If all of the money is securitized that are issued by the Feds.
By the FDIC?
No, by the Feds. Any money that is issued by the Feds, okay, if all of that money is required to be securitized, in other words, if the banks were required to put up collateral for all the dollars that they borrow from the Feds, then we will be entering into an inherent free market system, because then the bankers would find high value within each of those dollars because they are backing each of those dollars. You see what I mean?
What are they backing the dollars with?
Well, with whatever collateral that they put up, okay?
Oh, I see.
But right
does
now...
Does the Fed have collateral to put up?
Huh?
Does the Fed have collateral to put up?
You mean the bankers?
Oh, you're saying that the bankers would put up collateral?
Yeah, that's how they monetize the money, is by securitizing, by putting up collateral.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, but like I said, but the way it is now, for every $13 that, for every $1 that a banker holds in a savings account, he can borrow $13 from the Feds. For every $1 that a banker holds in a checking account, he can borrow $8 from the Feds. So they don't have to securitize all the money.
And they get their interest on all $8 or $9, actually, isn't it? Is the marginal rate?
Well, not only that, but that causes inherent inflation. That is why, right, and that is why the interest rate, is not, an organic interest rate is non-existent.
Oh, I'll look into the policy. I honestly think if we didn't get, if we didn't meddle as much into the market, the interest rates, well, obviously if the Federal Reserve wasn't involved, the interest rates would naturally find a point where they reach an equilibrium where savings and the amount of people that are wanting to borrow kind of finds a place where it equalizes, instead of the Fed giving more money out at real low rates. Really in this economy, it's a good idea to borrow money because you don't have to pay a very high interest rate back, and the inflation rate's even higher.
Mark, come on, man, y'all come on around here. No, sir, you stay here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, y'all come on around here, get behind me. What we need to do, what you're talking about, is the restructuring of the monetary system.
Exactly.
And we're beginning to have discussions on that.
It's going to have to be done.
Right. Right. Can I get your name and number?
Yeah,
do you have a card?
I do.
Okay, great.
The thing is whether we like it or not, at some point you're going to have too many in order to come back and thank you. I think at some point you can reach the amount that we have to create with the Federal Reserve to bail out some of these. Well, for instance, today I just read that Bank of America is moving some of their, I'm going to call it assets, but some of their derivatives trading into the deposit side of the bank, so that the FDIC will have revenue.
Okay, you're getting into
that's a different issue, but
right, and I understand about that. Okay,
but eventually the Fed's probably going to have to loan money to the government to be able to pay that stuff back.
Right. What you're talking about is beyond what we're doing right now. But please join us. I'll be contacting you.
Okay.
Please join us on our discussion on how we can revamp, redesign a monetary system. Okay. Because if we get rid of the feds, what are we going to replace it with? And there are other ways. There are other ways.
You know, the thing is.
Okay, we gotta go.
Okay.
Okay, but I'll call you and we'll invite you to join us on our discussion.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
what was that? What's your name
strong
again?
guy, man.
Jason?
Yeah.
Okay, Jason.
Jason,
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna give you some of these and maybe get some information.
The objective here is to have people to sign them and mail them in. Okay? Thank you.